And welcome to the Howard Eskin Show, uh, which I'll just mention this quickly. I was with Charles Barkley last night. He doesn't like the name of the show, so I'll figure that out. Not that what Charles says is right. Actually, he just says whatever he wants to say, whether it's right or wrong. But anyway, welcome to the Howard Eskin Show. Another special guest tonight, Mark Sanchez. And I always have fun with my guests because that's what this is all about. And I want to thank, as I always do, a very important part of the show is our presenting sponsor, Stillwell Financial Advisors. Stillwell Financial Advisors, Jeff Stillwell does a great job. Wealth you have, you want to, and we really have to look at the future, the way things are these days. And Jeff Stillwell can help you out, invest for the future, get yourself set for the future financially. Great guy, regular guy, and you'll enjoy the fact that he knows a lot. And his number is 732-343-0813. Jeff Stillwell, Stillwell Financial Advisors. All right, there's a lot of things that we're going to do tonight. We're going to announce the winner of the autographs from the last show. We're going to announce the new prize. And I will tell you this. Listen to what Mark Sanchez says, because we all should hang on his every word anyway. Listen to what he says, because I'm going to come up with a question after he's done. And here's what I'm going to do. You answer the question correctly. You email your answer through the contact page at howardeskin.com by midnight Friday, the 29th. That's this Friday. Watch the show on Saturday, August 30th at 8 a.m. to see if you won. We're live on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. Subscribe to YouTube, and it notifies you as soon as we go live. The winner will be randomly chosen from all correct entries. And the prize is an autographed copy of Courtside Magazine by Charles Barkley, who actually just signed that for me last night. Now, after we conclude with Mark, I want to talk, obviously, I'll talk about the Phillies. We'll talk about the Eagles with the season starting in 8 days, and we're going to talk about the Eagles with Mark Sanchez as well. The Eagles, they still won't tell you who's starting, they already know the answers, but we'll get into that. The Phillies, and I'm going to play something that I recorded with Charles Barkley at the end of the show as well. All right, let's welcome in now our guest on this episode of the Howard Eskin Show, and that would be former quarterback Mark Sanchez, who now is working in the broadcast industry, working for Fox as an analyst, doing the games. And first of all, welcome, Mark. And I don't know what your major in college was, although I'm sure you didn't go to many classes as a quarterback at USC.
No. I went to plenty of classes.
Okay, my son was in one of your classes. Yeah, I saw him occasionally, but whatever. No, I'm only kidding. I'm only having fun with you. But what was your major? Was broadcast journalism? Any of that was your major? Was that your major at USC?
Communication. So I did take
Communication.
some broadcast classes, some journalism classes, and a ton of other comm classes in Annenberg at USC, and I thoroughly enjoyed my time there, not just playing, but in the classroom, and
Mm-hmm.
some great contacts, some great teachers that I'm still in contact with, and it's been something important that I could always, hang my hat on and look back at. When you're done playing, I thought it would be important to graduate not only into the NFL ranks, but to graduate and earn a degree. That was important to me, so I did it during the draft process, which was pretty hectic. But driving back and forth, Orange County, LA, you know, 2, 3 times a week, then running out of a presentation to go to pro day. I
Mm-hmm.
remember one of our teachers wouldn't give us any. I said, "Hey, can I just go early? I got a really big job interview at noon. Okay, I got to go throw for 32 teams, and it'd be really helpful if I could go like at the 10 o'clock hour instead of like 11:30, you know." And the teacher said, "Sorry, your last name S Sanchez. Yeah, you guys are last, so we'll see you at 11:30." I was
Hey.
like, "Okay, we better hustle."
Okay, so when you're done playing football, you obviously had thought about the broadcast. How did it come about that you got to Fox and you became an analyst? and I've watched a couple of your games, and I think you do a good job. I think quarterbacks in football know what's going on. Catchers and pitchers in baseball know what's going on, and because they understand a lot of the dynamics. So, how did that come about? You going to Fox?
First was broadcasting boot camp when I stopped playing. My only regret, and if any players are listening to this, I would highly recommend doing broadcast boot camp while you're playing. It gives you just a very different approach and respect for people of the media because
Mm-hmm.
as a player, you always feel like you're holding information back, withholding. And as a broadcaster, you're always try and get that information out, stories sell. So you learn stuff like this in broadcast boot camp that the NFL puts on and provides for free for players. So I took advantage of that resource. They basically put you through the gamut, hosting a podcast, being on a panel in a studio show, calling a game, working on radio as opposed to TV, and you basically develop a highlight reel or low light reel if you're not very
Mm-hmm.
good, right? And they'll send it out to all the broadcast networks. They'll send it to NBC, ABC, Fox, CBS, ESPN, and they can basically see, hey, let's see if we want to bring them in for an audition. And ESPN brought me in for an audition. Fox, CBS. Fox was going to have me call college games, I believe, from the start. CBS was still kind of on the fence, and then ESPN said, "Hey, we got a college show on ABC with Jonathan Vilma and Kevin Negandhi." So I said, "Let's do it." And when you go into audition for ESPN, um, you are actually the audition is like every show on the thing. So if you just left ESPN on your TV for like 5 shows in a row, you'd see
Right.
those people all over again, usually in the same wardrobe, unless they go change. But I had to do that, and that was the audition. It was exhausting, and there was only like one taped segment. The rest is just, hey, you're on national TV, go and give me an opinion. What do you think of this play? What's their next step? How does this franchise turn it around? And you're like, whoa, this is a lot of work,
Okay, so
And
here's a tough part for some athletes, especially when you first get in.
mhm,
And even I learned, and I wasn't playing for a team when I first did. Went to TV after I did sports talk radio before WIP, and I was always worried about offending somebody.
yeah,
And somebody said, "Just be yourself and tell the truth. The truth will set you free." But for an athlete, it's hard because you never wanted to get criticized.
yeah, of
How
course not.
tough is it when you're in the booth and you see something that you know wasn't right and it was a mistake or it was done not well enough? How tough was it for you at the beginning?
It is very difficult. And I've been on the receiving end of former players. Oh, you can't make that throw into double coverage. Oh, you can't do that. Meanwhile, these people have done the exact same mistake. So, yes, I understand how things are supposed to go and how things can go a little sideways at times as a player. Well, I think as the broadcaster, it's important that any criticism I say on air, I'd be comfortable saying in front of the person. I'd be comfortable saying to their family, which is uncomfortable at times.
Yep.
But you criticize the performance, not the player. Nothing personal about the player, whether you like him or not. You might think he's a, you know,
Jerk.
trash of a person,
Yeah. Right.
but he's a hell of a ball player, and we're talking about ball players on this production. So I need to judge his performance as a ball player, not whether he's whatever. So that's part of it. That's like rule number one. And rule number two is if I can frame it in a way of what I'd like to see from this player,
Right.
right? Because one of my biggest pet peeves, it really, really bothers me, Howard, is when, oh, this guy sucks. Well, hold on. We got a couple thousand of these players in the world,
I
number
know.
one. None of these
Right.
guys suck. Okay, let's just start there. These guys are top of their profession at what they're doing, and some guys happen to be better than others. That's fine. That's why there's a Hall of Fame, and there's a Hall of really, really good. Okay, so
Yeah.
cool. But okay, what would I have liked to have seen? How was the play intended to work? Give me the why, give me the how. That's pretty much my job, right? The partner that I'm with, the play-by-play guy, their job description is the who and the what. Okay, what's the situation? Who's playing? Right? What down is it? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, how and why are they going to attack this defense, and what are we looking for? Why are they using this personnel, and why didn't it work? Or do you celebrate the good? Hey, this guy got burned on defense, or, I tend to, at least I'd like to think, celebrate the good play instead of crushing one guy, unless it's the third time it's happened in the same game.
Right.
You got to say something. But if you just say, wow, look at the move he put on the DB. I mean, good Lord, that's tough to cover. I don't care who you are.
Hmm.
And so's on the bad end of this one, but this is one heck of a highlight for the Eagles or so and so. You see what I mean? Where you can
Yep.
dish out the criticism without, crushing the guy, because somebody's going to make a mistake, and it's your job to call it how you see it.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a story when I had Mike Quick on, and I remember the situation when T.O., we all know who T.O. is, when he went after Donovan McNabb on the sideline. And Mike Quick said something about, you can't do that. Hey, listen, if there was something, Donovan didn't see him or he was open or whatever the case, you can't do it because everybody sees it. So Quick said something on the radio broadcast. T.O. never talked to him again. He wasn't here that long because he had that contract situation. And you just got to move on. So when you go down, and I've criticized players, but the one thing that I've always tried to do, and the fact that you'll see that player at another time somewhere along the way, I always tried to go into the locker room. If I criticize a coach or a player, hey, listen, you want to say something to me and we'll discuss it. And if I'm wrong, I'll tell you I'm wrong. Is it difficult after, and it might be minor criticism, to go down, you're going to cover that player again, and then the next time you may be at their game, before the game you're down on the field? Is it tough for you? Do you worry about seeing that player again?
I haven't, to be totally honest, I haven't blown anybody up like that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I'm pretty. I'd like to think I'm fair. If anything, I'll give the best version of
Yep.
of kind of what I'm seeing. So I haven't had to worry about that as much. I think you're a little more blunt force trauma, big guy. you got a little longer in the tooth, and what's somebody going to say to Howard Eskin, man? Come on.
Well, yeah, but I always make sure that I go down to address it. And some players have come after me, and let's just talk about it. It's players from every sport, and then after a while, Dick Vermeil didn't like me when he first came here, and that was in the '70s because I said he's working these guys too hard, practice is too long, and they're going to quit on him when they're not good enough. And Herm Edwards told me, he said, "Man, what do you say to Coach?" He said, and then he buried me my first day in television when he was at the Maxwell Club, and I was on the head table because it was September 20th, 1982. I'll never forget it. He buried me. I said, "Hey, Dick, that's okay." And then he got to know me, and he said, "You know what?" He realized I was just doing my job.
Yeah.
And I would talk to him about it. Now we're good friends. I've been to his house. I've been out to dinner with him. He has been great to me. Invited me to his Hall of Fame. I mean, it was just all those things. But you got to address it. Jason Worth really wanted to kick my ass when I called him a marginal Major League Baseball player because he criticized, because he stared me down after I had a big time argument with Charlie Manuel, the manager. So, and then after the playoffs, we sat down for about 45 minutes, and now we're good friends. I mean,
See,
it's
like
just,
an emotional outburst like that, if we ever catch it on camera, it's more of a, hey, you know what? This game gets heated. I
yep,
understand that. These
yep,
guys got to understand none of this stuff is personal. It's all shared
right.
struggle. We're trying to accomplish a goal of winning games. And it gets hot and spicy and uncomfortable. Those things shouldn't cross over personal boundaries. And these guys are probably going to want this clip back. And they would have probably rather solved that in the locker room or after the game or something where it wasn't so public. However, you look at a lot of the great players. I don't care if it's Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, RIP, anybody, all these excellent top level guys, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. I mean, those guys, you've seen the clips of Peyton Manning and Jeff Saturday. I mean, he's dog cussing him
Yep.
all day, like an entire game, and they're winning.
Mhm.
So, this is how these competitors actually are. And I feel like it's important for players and broadcasters to understand that and then convey that to the public that, hey, emotions overflow and boil over in these scenarios. This isn't uncommon. You'd like to keep these outbursts to a minimum, but that's kind of the way it happened
Well,
today.
in most cases with broadcast people, whether it's sports talk guys, they're hardly ever at the games. TV guys, even when I was in TV, I always went to the games as much as I could, every game. And if I had to get back for the news, I got back for the
Yeah.
news. But the thing is, I always tried to talk to people. Why was
Yeah.
this guy like this? Why was this? And I try to have background. I just don't throw garbage out
No,
there,
of
shit
course, of
out there,
course.
just because I wanted to have somebody react to it. And that's
Yeah.
and I think people understand that. Now, the game today, I'm going to get into the game today. It has changed. How, in your opinion, now you came into the league in 2009.
Right.
How has it changed from when you came into the league? And it's tough for a rookie quarterback. How has it changed from when you came into the league to the way it is today?
I think from an offensive standpoint, you're seeing a lot more of what we had in Philly with some of the zone read stuff, quarterback
Mhm.
run, called designed quarterback runs, even with guys that aren't, Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen and some of these players like Joe Burrow can move enough to steal a few yards on some of those zone reads. And so, now it's just a matter of do you want to expose him to those hits? So that's a big one. You don't see a whole lot of fullbacks anymore. They were like a dying breed when I was coming into the league. We were fortunate to have Tony Richardson, who was an absolute stud in New York, played for KC. And that's a big part of it. I think a lot of the McVay tree, Shanahan tree,
Yep.
Kevin O'Connell now, Liam Cohen. You see all these guys starting to expand. Andy Reid's group of guys, go take their jobs. So like this West Coast kind of mentality with the outside zone, a ton of the run actions, the nakeds, the rollouts and stuff, and then some of those high flying deep play action pass game stuff has really taken off. And then conversely, from the defensive side, it goes in ebbs and flows, and every defensive coordinator has their own DNA. Some of them are just going to pressure you no matter what. But you'd see, this Vic Fangio tree of umbrella top on the defense. We're not going to get beat deep. We're going to
Mhm.
have we're going to pattern read with the corners and the safeties to make sure those guys are involved in the run game. We need an extra hat to the run game to help us up front, and nothing gets behind us. We're just going to wait. We're not going to pressure. Maybe we'll occasionally bring a backer, drop a lineman to equalize, to even out the numbers. But we're essentially going to force this offense to go on a 12 to 16 play drive. I want them to force them to convert 3 3rd and 5 pluses, and maybe one of those down in the red area. If
Interesting.
they do that and score a field goal or a touchdown, they deserve the points. And
Yeah.
we will take a death by 1,000 paper cuts because I can all but guarantee that they're going to screw it up before we do. If we play like this, if we truly commit to this style of play,
If
and
you
it's
force
and
the
it's
quarterback to throw a pass, that's
exactly
where the
right,
turnovers.
exactly
Yeah.
right. Get them into a long. They have 4 different sets of 4 downs. Good. Let them throw it. Get them into second and long. Get them into third and long. Let's make one of these guys screw up, and we'll be the benefactor of that.
The quarterback position has changed too because now coming out of college, I don't want to say if you get to the NFL, you're athletic anyway, but you're athletic in different ways. But
Mhm.
these guys, there's a lot of runners. Do you like that part of the game where it's one thing to be able to elude pressure, but it's another thing to be and some quarterbacks are classified as running quarterbacks. Some are, and some really aren't. They're just very like Patrick Mahomes does
Right.
not run that much, but
He's
he
elusive.
he elusive and he buys time.
Yeah.
Do you see the way the quarterback position is played being different now than it used to be?
Well, I think now the elusive quarterback is almost assumed. It's almost like a prerequisite. Where
Right.
before it's like, oh, he's elusive. This is nice. He's not just a pocket passer or a statue back there. Well, then you get these guys who can really move. And I'm telling you, just numbers wise, when you add the quarterback into the run game for a defensive coach,
Hmm.
I mean, it can just cause so many problems and keep you up every night of the week just trying to figure out how we're going to get an extra hat on the quarterback. Because if he keeps the ball and we get caught, we're going to give up some major field position here, or perhaps a big explosive play, and then we look like idiots. And it's really hard to do. So once he becomes that extra guy that's not, that's numbers advantage for the offense, it's a problem. So the difference between elusive and then actually a capable runner, right, a
Right.
ball carrier, those are two different distinctions. And then the pure pocket passer, I think, is really starting to go away, which
It's a shame because that's
it's
that's a
wild.
that's a fun part of the game for fans
Yeah,
because you'd rather see passing than running. I mean, I know
no
Saquon
doubt,
Barkley
no
was
doubt.
terrific, but nonetheless, it's just more exciting with a great catch and you're 3rd and 7 and you hit a pass for 11
And
yards and you get
the
a
game
first down.
seems to always come down to that, right? You get down to those final four teams, those final four defenses are so good. They're going to force you into those third downs and longs,
Yeah.
and you will have to drop back, do the most exhausting thing as a quarterback in the league. You will have to drop back, move off your spot slightly,
Yeah.
go through 1, 2, and get to 3, 4, or 5. Throw an accurate ball into coverage away from a defender. That is the hardest thing to do. And if you force a guy to do it more and more and more, the chances of them screwing it up go up, unless you're Stafford and Goff and some of these guys that just have elite processing ability, and that's their secret sauce. They have to process fast because they can't run around. The guys who can run around aren't always forced to process and get to
Right.
3, 4, and 5 because they can take off and run. So it's, what does your offense look like? How do you build it around a guy like that, knowing that at some point somebody's going to force you into one of those situations to drop back and complete a ball accurately with a defender on the guy who's NFL open, which means
Yeah.
covered in a lot of other leagues. So that's where you end up gambling later in the year if you don't have a guy who can throw.
All right. So the debate in here in Philadelphia, Pro Football Focus, whether you believe them and whatever, it's just I don't agree with everything that they put out there. But there's this debate, and it happens probably more in Philadelphia than other cities. The top quarterbacks and where does Jalen Hurts fall?
Yeah.
To me, it's all about winning games. I don't give a damn where he falls in the quarterback rankings. You win games. They won a Super Bowl. Stop with all this other nonsense. But if you had to look at quarterbacks and you had to break them down, let's say one, if you can get to 10, you get to 10. How would you look at the quarterbacks and rank them as
Oh
far as
God.
their ability? I know. Well, it's either
On
Josh
the
Allen or
spot.
Patrick. Well, wait a minute. It's either Josh Allen. I didn't. It's kind of. I just thought about that because of the Jalen Hurts thing. It's either
Yeah.
Josh Allen or
Well,
Patrick
what did they
Mahomes.
rank? What is he ranked according to them?
Well, I think
Because
he's
what, he didn't
somewhere
throw for what,
between
3,000
somewhere
yards? That's
between
part of it.
six. Yeah, somewhere between 6 and 9. Somewhere between
Okay.
6 and 9, which I think is fair. I
He's
mean,
top
his
10.
his touchdowns. I mean, 8 of them are tush pushes, so you can't really. You say, oh,
Sure.
combined for passing and rushing touchdowns. Those rushing touchdowns are irrelevant with that play. But I would think Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes has to be number one. Then you got Burrow, right? Uh,
I
somewhere
still
in the
have
next.
Stafford and Goff up there.
Okay, it's interesting you say that. If Stafford's healthy, I think the Rams are going to have a really good year this
Oh, they
year.
look nasty.
Yeah,
That's a
and I
good
love their
group, man.
coach. I love their
That's a.
coach.
They had y'all in the ropes in the
Yep,
snow. They have
yep.
no business being in that game,
No, I know.
and they I thought they were going to win. I thought they were going to steal one. I really, really did. As the game was developing, I'm like, oh my god. Unless Saquon does something crazy, and there he went. But still, that was they had him, dude. That was crazy.
I know, and they really are good, and I think they're going to be good again this year. The one, I guess, if there was a criticism, and he's gotten better, Jalen Hurts, is he didn't go through all his progressions. Now, I know you didn't do that many games with the Eagles. He didn't get to his progressions, whatever way a quarterback terms it, and that's where he's gotten better. And the other quarterbacks seem to be able to get through their progressions, and it's an innate ability, I'm sure, with a quarterback, right, to
Yeah, I
do
think
that.
some of it's natural and just
Right.
your, ability to handle those
Hmm.
situations, but some of it can be improved. I might not be the best singer in the world, but with lessons, I can make myself the best version of a singer that I could possibly be, I guess, right? So it's no different than getting live reps at progressions. And the more times he does it, the better he's going to potentially be. I think some of the things you're talking about, a lot of the progression issues get erased when the very next play you make a big play, whether it's with
Right.
your legs or with your arm, because there were a couple situations in games that we called for the Eagles where you have the 3rd and 3 and you're like, oh man, he had Devontae Smith. And I remember breaking down one of the plays on like a little shallow route and no dice. And they came back and ran almost an identical play, similar play, and he gets one-on-one on the outside, and it's a 4th down, and boom, there goes dropping the bucket to AJ Brown. So yes, those two things can exist at once. Yes, he missed a progression on 3rd down, but yes, he also threw an absolute dime on 4th down. So what are you going to do? Are you going to criticize the process or the result, or what are you going to focus on? I think that's where, with a new coordinator going through all the clips from the year before, how do we improve on these? Because if I don't need that 4th down throw because we converted getting to number 3 in the 3rd down progression, then maybe I'll save that one for later when we really need a throw. You know what I mean? Like if we
Yep.
don't have to bail ourselves out right now on 4th down, let's just convert the 3rd down. Just take the first conversion possible. So I think that's where his game can potentially elevate. And then also when you have a back that rushes for that many yards, plus you add to the run game, plus you have the O line you're going to have, yeah, of course, you're not going to throw for that many yards. So what? Dude's got a fat ring on his finger, and I'm envious. So
Yeah.
I got
The,
no issues
the
with their
Eagles.
formula to win. That's their formula to win.
The Eagles coaches, I know, they want to keep them between 21 and 23 passes. The more passes, and that's where I know Joe Flacco's got a great arm, and it's amazing. He's starting again, but he turns the ball over too much. And maybe they were playing from behind all the time. But whatever the case, and I like Joe. Joe's from the area here as well. But when you only throw 21 to 23 passes, there's less chance for turnovers. So
Sure.
as long as Saquon can run it and you can keep the ball on the ground and you put the ball up in the air less, it obviously cuts down. The Eagles didn't have a turnover in the playoffs, which is absolutely amazing that they didn't have a
I mean,
turnover.
they went on a heck of a run. No, I think part of the that sweet spot for Jalen as he gets better and better and as he progresses in his career, those numbers can potentially go up. It's just a matter of what's your formula, what do you feel comfortable with, what's his sweet spot, and your chat on the side is hilarious. I'm sorry. The people say the Rams did not have the Eagles anywhere. We beat them twice last year. F the Rams and Sean McVay too. He was a media creation, that Super Bowl winning suspect.
I,
Coach, they had the Eagles on the ropes. Adam Bueller, I'm sorry.
oh, that's great
What?
that you're looking at the
That game
chat.
was tight. Dude, see, this is why I don't go on Twitter. This is why I don't do this.
uh,
But homie, that game was tight.
yeah.
What? I don't
There
know what
was
game
no
you watched.
question. There was no question. It's just games. A lot of times when the Eagles got to the Super Bowl, they were down 7-0 to Minnesota. That was in Super Bowl 52. And then was it Patrick? Was it Robinson? Was that the DB's name? The guy in the secondary. He
Oof,
got
you
an
got me.
interception for a touchdown, and it turned the whole game around.
Yeah, I mean,
So things turn it around. the
that's so
Rams,
funny.
the
Sorry for
Rams
the
are good.
sidebar. I saw that
No,
come up,
no,
and I was
that's
just like,
great.
"What?"
I'm glad. I'm glad
I'm
you
like, "Did I
saw
miss
that.
something? Did I watch the wrong game?"
Yeah, well, these guys, the guy says, fuck, you can say it on I don't usually like to use the four-letter word. The guy says, fuck the Rams and Sean McVay. And he spells Sean McVay wrong. Come on, bro.
Or Josh Allen hasn't won blank, and his head coach sucks big time. I hope the Bills eat the rod this year.
I tell you, this
My
is,
man, Bueller, get it out, boy.
this is what makes these things fun. These people react. And I have them,
Jeez.
I wouldn't have them call in with a guest, but I have them call in at other times. They can go through the link, or I'm going to create I'm working on creating a phone line so they can do it, because some people don't want to
Oh
be on
dear.
camera because they're so ugly. But all right, so now you had 2 years with the Eagles. I do want to get to that. By the way,
Okay.
the Rams are really going to be good, and I agree with you.
If Stafford's healthy, I agree.
Oh my gosh, and a terrific coach and a really good quarterback, and the fact that you put Goff in there impresses me. That people don't recognize that they had so many injuries. They would have given the Eagles a hell of a game if they played them in the playoffs. I don't know what would have
Oh, I
happened.
know.
I think the Eagles were a better team, but whatever. All right, your 2 years with the Eagles.
Mhm.
Other than Chip Kelly, what do you remember?
Yeah. Oh shoot, Folsey was there. Gosh, there's a ton of guys that won the next Super Bowl that they were in. So Kelsey, gosh, LaShawn McCoy, Macklin,
Brent
Deshaun had just
Selleck,
left.
Brent Selleck.
Yeah, Selleck, Ertz, sheesh. On
They had some.
defense, Brandon Graham, Connor Barwin, who I know is helping with them now. Stout was still there. Um, God, who do we remember? We brought Byron Maxwell, the
Oh
corner
yes,
over from Seattle.
what a stiff he was.
Well,
Hey,
he was not
I'm gonna
big with
tell
the
you this.
media. He was great in the locker room. Like he was a great guy. Just was injured a bunch and didn't get a chance to contribute like I think everybody assumed he would. And I just remember him coming out
You want
to
to
a
hear it?
game in the like warm-up tracksuit. And I never heard fans rip into a player like they did to poor Byron Maxwell, and he wasn't even playing.
I'm
It
gonna
was like a
give you.
Monday night game, and I'm pretty sure that was the chicken fingers game when Foles was balling out.
Uh,
And Nick sometimes would get like he was a very intense competitor, but he seemed to be really lax. And so sometimes like on the sidelines, he would, okay, what else we got? What else we got? He either him or Kelsey or somebody started calling me Chico, maybe Barwin or somebody, but they would say Chico all the time. Chico, what do we got? Chico, what do you see? So I'm on the sidelines just helping out as the
right.
backup and looking at the things and whatever and eating at halftime because I'm starving and whatever.
Oh,
So I'm just letting them know from my experience, hey, this is the pressures we're getting. Here's what we're not getting. Whatever, just kind of helping, normalize everything and whatever. So that's kind of your job as the backup to keep everybody good. Hey, great play, keep going. Hey, keep running that route. We'll get you the ball soon. Blah blah blah. And so Nick was just kept asking like, what else we got? What else we got? And I'm like, bro, we've been through all this. You're beating the crap out of the Giants in our all black uniforms on Monday night, dude. You got no worries right now. You're balling. And the run game's unstoppable. They ain't getting to you in the pass game. We're protecting the heck out of it. Like defense getting after them. What are you worried about? Like, what else we got? What else we got? I'm like, bro, try the chicken fingers. They're good. I don't know what else to say. Like, I got nothing else left.
I'm
And
gonna give you.
so,
I'm gonna
so
give
Foles
you.
is like all tight in the game. And I'm like, bro, you're good. You are doing just fine.
I'm gonna give you a story. Byron Maxwell. You brought him up, and it just came to mind. It was in. They stayed at the Westin in Jersey City when they played the
Mhm.
Giants or the Jets. I forget who they played the next day. Curfew is curfew. And they always check to make sure, and sometimes they give the guy a pass. He was 2 hours late for curfew. So what they did is they changed the key to his room, and he couldn't get in.
That's pretty good.
He
That's
couldn't
pretty
get
good.
in, and then he got in touch with who he has to get in touch with. Hey, listen, my key doesn't work. Yeah, I know. You're 2 hours late for curfew. All right. Well, I need to get into the room. He says, no, you're going to have to go down and get a room. And he had to put in for a room and pay for it. He paid for his own room, and they didn't unlock his room until the next morning when they were ready to leave for the game to get his
Oh my
stuff.
God. That had to be after I was gone.
Yeah, probably.
No way.
Yes, yes. It was.
What a move. Who pulled that one, Don?
Well, I don't want to. I don't want to dime him out.
That is so good.
I know. I can when we talk
That's
personnel.
like worse than the embarrassment of the team and everything. Just like, yeah, figure it out.
I know. And
Oh my
then, were
God.
you there? The game in Washington when they scored, the Eagles scored. The
When
Eagles scored
they
50
like
some
canceled the
points.
game and then uncanceled the game.
I forget that, but wasn't there a game in Washington? And Chip Kelly was the coach, and we thought he was great with his offense. Scored 50 some points, buried the Redskins. It was a Monday night game. Um,
Oh,
You probably
No, that
weren't
might
there.
not have been me. No, we did set a completion record or yards record or something for the
You came
franchise at
into
one
Chip
point in
Kelly's.
Washington.
Yeah, you were here. Chip Kelly had already been here for a year, right?
Chip was there for a year with Vic and Foles.
Yeah, it was probably the year before. But
Yeah, yeah.
you like that Byron Maxwell story, huh?
That's tough, man. But in that game that Foles was playing well and I'm eating chicken fingers, that was the game that the fans just like undressed him
Yeah.
verbally.
Oh,
I
the
was
fans.
like, God
Fans can be tough.
bless.
Boy. Fans
I'm
can
like,
be
dude,
tough.
he's on the team. He's injured.
All right.
Like, what?
So there's another question I had before you came on when we promoted the show, and somebody said, "Ask Mark about the AFC Championship game 2010. I think you had 3 touchdown passes. You beat the Patriots in the AFC
The
Championship.
divisional, the divisional.
Oh, the divisional in 2010. What do you remember about that game?
Slow start. Very slow start. The first quarter took like an eternity. We couldn't get anything going on offense. They couldn't get anything going on offense. We picked off a screen. I want to say Dave Harris picked off a screen from the
Mhm.
linebacker position of Brady, and he takes it all the way down to like the 15 or 20-yard line or something like that. Should have scored. I mean, unhitch the trailer, Dave, please. But regardless, we couldn't do anything on offense, and I want to say we missed the field goal because I think we ended up winning
Mhm.
28-21 and just scored 4 touchdowns. I think we missed the field goal. So it was a first quarter like they're playing like dog crap, and we are not taking advantage of it. We're just watching it happen. We got to figure this out. Jericho Cotchery had a big play. Braylon had a huge play on a scramble. And then there was the throw in the back of the end zone to Santonio, an early one to LaDainian Tomlinson. LaDainian Tomlinson, we ran a counter off this like little bunch play.
Right.
And LaDainian had gone in the past like towards the flat and then cheated inside. And this time we motioned him up and just basically foot race to the front pylon between him and a linebacker. And the backer was going to have to fight through trash. Well, I took the snap from under center because I was more comfortable under center and ripping back on like a quick 5-step
Uh
draw
huh.
from like the 3-yard line. Usually we'd practice this from like the 4 or 5, and we called it from I think the 3. So I knew I had to get back so fast and flip my hips around, and I just fired this rocket at him. And as soon as it came out of my hands, I literally thought, "Oh shit, that was way too hard."
Yeah.
And dude, he makes an incredible catch. It's in front of him, but it is hot. He catches that ball. Whew, a little bit of the nerves kind of shake him off,
Yeah.
and we're in a ball game. And then they all out pressured us. We hit Braylon for a touchdown. Then Sean Green scores his last touchdown, and then that
Yeah.
was it. But it was tight, man, early, and we couldn't afford we just couldn't get it going. And slow starting game. That was the AFC Championship game the next week where we were so slow out of the gates against Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
So
All right. There's another comment here, and it's Patty. Great interview. Mark was really good, or is really good. I didn't love him as an Eagles quarterback. It's okay. You were only here 2 years, but he is clearly very articulate and educated. Is that USC
wow,
education?
must be. I mean, loose usage of educated, but I'll take it. Thank you, Patty. And maybe you don't remember that awesome Thanksgiving game in Dallas. I don't think it was that
Oh
bad while I
yeah.
was there.
No, yeah. Well, the first
You don't
year,
remember that? That was when Aaron Andrews, after the game for Fox, said, "Hey, what's up? How does the post game?" And I just said, "Hey, big start on Thanksgiving. I'm just trying not to run into any of my guys."
yeah,
And
I
she
do remember that.
laughed.
I do remember
Half the
that.
people didn't get it, but
Well, the
most of them
first
did.
year, I think you started. Did you start 9 games? The first year you were with the Eagles, I think
Yeah,
you
something like
started.
that. I came in against Houston.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
it really is
Yeah, that
amazing.
was the game against Houston. The first play was like a 40-yard pass to Macklin.
Hey,
Coach brings me in, calls Dover or Dolly, like the deep post with the deep cross, like deep play action. Oh my God, bless you, got me coming off the bench shooting 3-pointers.
yeah,
Holy cow.
that's great. All right, so I'm going to go through a couple more things here. Um, the I know you enjoy broadcasting, so I won't even ask you about coaching. You can stay in broadcasting forever. Coaches, you're going to get fired. Uh, the teams in the league you already identified, assuming that Matthew Stafford stays healthy. The Rams are a contender.
Yep.
Detroit's a contender. Uh, The Eagles, obviously, a contender. Who else do you identify as a contender? Let's just say the NFC.
Yeah, NFC in the South, you got to look at Tampa. I think they've had a pretty good handle on that division. The West, we said the Rams. NFC North, that's a tricky one. They got three really good teams in there, and then who knows what Ben Johnson does with the Bears.
Yep.
So Green Bay, um,
Eagles play
yeah,
all these teams.
Minnesota again,
They play all those teams.
and
That's what's
Detroit.
tough.
I mean,
That's what's tough for the Eagles.
yeah,
I
that's
think
going to
they're going to
be.
be. I think they're going to be 2-2 after the first 4 games. Now, last year they were 2-2, and these morons on the air were ready to fire Nick
I remember
Sirianni.
this. I remember
Oh
this.
my
This was
God!
the calm down thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
right. And they wanted Belichick. Give me a break.
yeah, 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 yeah.
It's just. But Todd Bowles always finds a way
Yeah.
to his defenses against Jalen Hurts, and they play them the 4th game. Kansas City the 2nd game. They'll beat Dallas because they always suck. Kansas City the 2nd game. I said it. Kansas City the 2nd game. The Rams are here, so they get a break
Yeah.
by playing the Rams here, and then Tampa and Tampa, and then they play Denver here, and Denver's going to be good. I think Sean Payton has done a really nice job with Denver.
Yeah,
We'll
we
see.
have them out of the gate, their home opener, week one.
Oh, you do?
And that's an interesting group, because the quarterback, a little bit like Philly, is a part of the run game. Bo Nix, had 400 plus, 500 plus yards last year. So I think he's an interesting player. I think the addition of Ingram, how they're going to use him, what they're going to do at running back to be, a stable of backs. I
Yep.
love the Sutton kid, and then their defense. They paid the cornerback for a reason. They paid Zach Allen for a reason. He's finally found a home after being in Arizona. I mean, that's a legitimate pass rush with Benito and all those players. They got some guys, and they're making some noise. And the biggest issue in their own division is the Chiefs, of course.
Yeah, and that's in the AFC. But in the NFC, I think Washington, that quarterback, Herm Edwards, who had him when he was a coach at Arizona State for a couple of years, he loves Daniels, and I think he's really good. Now it's his 2nd year, and that's a tough
Yeah.
year, but Washington could give him some trouble. Washington.
Oh,
Could give them,
Washington's a contender for sure.
yeah,
After what they showed last year, early on, that's a team that seems to be headed in the right direction. Now it's a matter of being able to recreate it and deal with some of your successes, right? And teams figure that out quick. The Eagles are going to figure that out quick, and a lot of those guys on that team know what it's like to win and then have the target on your back. It's hard. Everybody's coming for you. So things aren't getting easier for Philly.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants finish ahead of the Cowboys, because the Cowboys always find a way to screw things up. But it's just, and you're not going to have to say anything. I'm going to say it. Dak Prescott has so many catch-up yards. It's a joke, but that's another story. All right. But the Giants, I don't know how good Dart is, and I don't know when he's going to start.
Yeah, that's
Because
tough.
if he can kind of turn it around, I'm not. Russell Wilson's with the Giants now, right? I'm not a Russell
Correct.
Wilson fan. I'm not a Russell Wilson.
I
I got a
mean, he
story
seemed
about
to.
him too.
He,
He held up the
let you say
plane
that.
going back to Seattle because he didn't like the food. So they had to go out and get the food he wanted, and they didn't take off to go back to Seattle. From it's just, come on, his own office. You had your own office, didn't you, when you were a quarterback?
I did not.
Okay.
Looked out of the quarterback room.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I'm curious. They saw plenty of them in the preseason
Yeah.
to know that Jackson Dart is capable, right? He could handle it now. I think him personally, and I think this is a bigger conversation about when do you start a guy and when do you sit a guy. Depends on how much leash the head coach has. Number one, how much runway he's got, and is the team ready? Is the player ready? Me starting for the New York Jets in 2009 wasn't that crazy. We had a veteran team. Everybody else knew what was going on. I could just kind of fit in, follow orders, and hopefully progress a little bit. By year 2, we were doing a lot more. By year 3, we were doing a lot more. So that position will evolve and grow. The problem is if the team's not ready for it around him. I think the defense might be ready for it. I don't know if that offense is prepped for a rookie
All
quarterback
right. So if the
in New York.
Eagles aren't the team that goes to the Super Bowl from the AFC,
From
give
the
me
NFC.
3 teams that you think that gives you some leeway. 3 teams you think could get to the Super Bowl if it's not the Eagles. I'll
So
couch it
3
that
other
way.
NFC teams.
Yeah, three other NFC teams.
Ooh,
Well, you'd
choose
have to say
wisely.
LA. You would assume the Rams, right?
Yeah, it's all Stafford though. My fear with that, and this is not because of any insider knowledge or any kind of whatever,
Right.
just my read on the situation was it feels eerily similar to what the way they talked about Christian McCaffrey last year, where it was like this developing story, and then you get a little more info, and oh, by the way, he's missing the season. You're like, wait, what? So if that's the case for Staff, if he's out a good portion of the season, I just don't know if that's the group to do it.
So do you think Detroit's back
But I think
together?
in a pinch, in 4 game stretch, I think Jimmy Garoppolo can win you 2 games, no
Wow.
doubt.
So you put San Francisco. Where's Jimmy Garoppolo? Well, he's with the
He's with
backup.
the Rams, yeah.
Right.
And
All
then
right.
San Fran, do they have a bounce back year?
It's
They're
kind of
tough
and
there.
Detroit. If Detroit stays healthy, they're going to be. I think they're
2 new
going to.
coordinators, that's a lot. Same head
Oh,
coach,
okay.
same quarterback, that helps. But
So
and
it's
then
tough. It's really
the
tough to
second
come up.
year quarterback, who's technically like a rookie in McCarthy in with the Vikings. I mean, that's once again, defense loaded, offense loaded. They're dealing with the suspension with Addison for a few games, but
Who's
I
this
mean,
now?
Jordan Addison
Oh,
with the Vikings. But still, I mean, that's a team that's ready for a rookie quarterback or a young quarterback, somebody who's never played.
yep.
They're ready. They're plug and play almost, right? They're going to win games in spite of the quarterback potentially. Does that make sense? Like,
Yes.
the Eagles would be a roster for a quarterback like that. When the roster is set and you just need a trigger man, that's when you play the young guys. If they're not, I mean, you could potentially ruin their career and their
Mhm.
trajectory by playing them too early.
So it's really hard to pick a team. There'll be a lot of teams in the mix. Is the way you kind of look at it. Your thoughts
Yeah.
on Nick Sirianni? I like Nick Sirianni. I think he's a good coach. Says nothing at news conferences, but he's programmed to say nothing, which is sad. I mean, I like somebody just throw us a bone once in a while. But what do you think of Nick Sirianni as a head coach?
I think, listen, he's done an excellent job there. He's handled a tough media market, and
Yep.
he handled it really his way. He chirped back a little bit and was just like, hey, are we running it enough for you? Are you comfortable out there? Like,
Yep.
this is what I do, man. I live and die for this stuff. I'm working my butt off to get these guys to play well, and I can appreciate that. I think he does it his own way. I think he's done a great job of finding the formula to win for each team that he's had,
Yep.
because it's been a little different, whether there is Saquon Barkley or not Saquon Barkley, whatever. But having that Super Bowl experience, I mean, they're right on the brink as well in Arizona a few years ago against the Chiefs. That wasn't a blowout. That game
Yep.
was right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And so that's where you can judge a lot of these coaches and players. Like, are they having success with multiple players? And how many shots on goal do they get? How many shots in the
Right.
playoffs? How many shots in Super Bowls, championship games are they really giving their players an opportunity to compete in? And he's right up there. So, it's hard to argue with that level of success. Now, it might not be everybody's favorite way of hearing about it, and we don't get enough in the press conferences, or he chirped back at us. Well, that's a stylistic thing, and
Yeah.
that's just kind of how he's wired. But you can't argue with the production they've had, and the players really do seem to rally around him.
Okay. College football and
Oof.
obviously USC
Yeah.
is probably hurt by this. Your alma mater. The NIL in college football. I just I don't think there's an answer. You're going to have 5 conferences if you have that. The mid majors are history.
Yeah.
I don't even know what's left in the Pac-10. Is it still called the Pac-10 or the Pac-12 or what? The
That is a good
Pac-13?
question. I think, yeah, there's somebody who just came by my door with uh, a list if you want to enroll in the Pac-10, I think. So
That's good.
pretty sure I can sign up.
I'm telling you because they took whatever
No,
teams
that
will
breaks my
take
heart
them.
too, because I mean that was, that's all I know from
And the
college. So
NIL has
it's
probably
difficult.
destroyed that, right?
It's
You
just
can't be
here's
happy with that. You're happy as a
here's
player, but yeah.
yeah. I'm happy for the players that they even had the awareness to fight for something like that. And honestly, I can't lie to you, Howard. It didn't really cross my mind as a player. I really didn't think about it. I thought I really want to get to the NFL. I really love playing college football. I get free meals. I get a stipend check. It pays for my rent and gas. And let's go play ball and get through school, graduate, and move on. That's really like my bandwidth. So that seems pretty simple, and I apologize, but that's the truth. Nowadays, it's just different. And I think everybody, the way I see it is everybody's on a 1 year deal and no salary cap.
Yeah.
Basically it. And we'll
Well, the
see. Year to
problem is
year, it's
the
kind of a
transfer.
hodgepodge.
The transfer portal screws things up too.
Yeah, I
At
feel like
any,
they just got to cap that. You got to cap that
well,
unless you get some sort of injury, provision or
right.
something like that, and it better be something, serious.
And
Then, hey, maybe we'll rethink it. But you get 2 times, and that's it, or whatever.
Andrew Brandt brought up an unbelievable point, and you know who Andrew Brandt is.
Hmm.
Does a lot. Okay. He now is an advisor for Louisville. They had a
Okay.
player that was offered in January $300,000 to play at Louisville. There's another transfer portal a few months later. He says, "Hey, I got," and I forget which team he told me. They're going to give me $500,000 unless you match it. I'm leaving. He didn't even play a second, and he bailed out on
He
their offer and took another offer after he
he
agreed to
leveled
their.
up another 200 grand.
What's that?
He leveled up another 200 grand.
Yeah, yeah.
It's pretty good. That's pretty quick math by me, but that's pretty good for the kid.
USC. That's what it was.
Okay.
USC. Hey,
Um,
do you know what your first Eagles game is?
I don't yet. I only have my
Okay.
first 4 games.
All right. But anyway, I think you've taken really, really great strides, not good strides, great strides in the booth. Be
Appreciate it.
honest, and you've probably learned more as you go through it to be honest without burying somebody, but just pointing out, the good and the bad and the ugly, because there's no TO on the field anyway, so you don't have to.
I try to be honest, just not as honest as Howard. How about that?
Well, hey, listen, I
That's
can't help
my
my.
that's my spectrum there.
Yeah,
0
but
to Howard. Okay, stay away from the red Howard area.
well, yeah, but
Tough.
I'm honest. I'm honest. The
I'm
truth.
messing with you, man.
I
I'm
know.
messing with
Hey,
you.
listen, I love you. I love that. I don't. You think I care about people busting my balls? The truth will set you free. I always believe that the truth will set you free. Hey, Mark, I had a lot of fun, and that's what I do with these. And the comments, I didn't bring up the butt fumble because I don't want to bring up that center. What's he backing up for? What do you do? Get pushed right into you? I'll make an excuse for you. How's that? I'll make an excuse for you.
There you
But
go.
I had so many
Truth,
great
truth.
comments here. Yeah.
Hold on. Somebody said the pack too. Thanks a lot. Piling on. Rude. What
It's
about the Buckeyes rule college football? Okay.
they might lose
Relax,
their first
Ohio.
game. They might lose their first game to
Oh yeah, don't they
Texas.
play Texas?
Yes. But
Oh, who is that? Roy? Con fan? Cone fan? Okay.
yeah,
Got a little side
right. Yeah,
side
they will.
wager
They're going
here
to
on
lose their first
Texas,
game.
Ohio State.
They're going to lose their first game. I'm not, they're building up another Manning, but I still think Texas is going to win that game. They are a really good football team. We'll see. I mean, they're playing at Ohio State, but still, all right, we'll see. Great to have you. It's fun. I always try to have fun, and I really, honestly, I really had a lot of fun with you on this show. Really
I
did.
did as well. We got to do it again.
Yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to. And you know what? If I see you make a mistake on the air,
You let me know.
and
Oh, I know you will.
yeah, all right. Hey, have a great season. Keep up the good work, and I love you. Thanks.
Appreciate you guys.
All
Love you
right,
guys. Later.
thanks. Mark Sanchez. Thank you, Mark. He is fun. He is fun. Uh, yeah, it's just see when you get to know guys, it's so easy. And I got to know him, even though he only played 2 years here. I really got to know him. I still want to play it. What I taped with Barkley last night, but let me take care of a few things here. First of all, and I'm going to tell you that Jeff Stillwell Financial Advisors, is an important part of this program. Jeff, thank you. And the people that work with you, I'm sure, thank you as well, because you know your stuff. Jeff Stillwell can help you with your future wealth. and your wealth right now to make it better in the future. 732-343-0813. All right, we have a couple of business things to take care of. Number one, we had a winner last week, the winner of the hat trick of autographs. The hat trick of autographs of Ron Hextall, Tim Kerr, and Rick Tocchet when the Flyers were good. He answered the question. The question was, Mark Lawrence brought up a point. The wise guy, who was the gamblers, they call them wise guys. They bet this team a lot. The wise guys bet them, and that was Georgia Tech. And Lewis, you had one of the correct answers, and you were chosen at random. Congratulations, and I will send that out to you. And I'll have the question briefly, but first I want to tell you about Audi Westchester. You can get a new 2025 Audi Q6 e-tron for $499 a month, or an Audi Q4 e-tron for $399 a month. You'll need $5,295 down for the Q6 and $4,156 down for the Q4, plus taxes, registration. I'm telling you, this is a great deal. The electric cars are on sale. There's a tax credit, not for a long time. Audi Westchester, you go to their all-new facility. You'll have some fun checking it all out. 1421 Wilmington Pike. Don't wait. This special offer won't last long. 2025 Audi Q6 e-tron for $499 a month, or an Audi Q4 e-tron for $399 a month. And go to AudiWestchester.com. Piazza Property Pros. They're going to build stuff on your property. You know, look at this, the way they don't just do pools. Look at this. Piazza, they build an environment for you in your house, and they can do a great job. Piazza Property Pros can do it with 25 years of experience. Look how nice that is. It doesn't just have to be a pool. You know, you can build out your property. 610-566-2608. 610-566-2608. Piazza Property Pros with 25 years of experience. They don't subcontract, whether it's building a pool, landscaping, pool maintenance. You saw what they can do with your property to make it really, really nice. Trust Piazza Property Pros, or you can check them out. You got the number there, 610-566-2608. Check them out at piazzaoutdoor.com. All right. Let me give you, and I'm going to play Charles Barkley. He busted my you-know-whats, and I busted his. By the way, Saturday, Mark Lawrence will be on with us, and it's my 39th anniversary of the first sports talk show at then 610 WIP, although they don't care about their history. They ignore the facts. People remember 610 WIP. August 29th, 1986 was the first sports talk show there. I did it. We'll talk about sports talk radio, the good and the bad of what it's become or not become. And Mark Lawrence will take a look at the college football this weekend on Saturday. All right. The question Mark had, and you really had to be paying attention. And he was so much fun that I'm sure you were paying attention. To win the Charles Barkley Autograph Courtside magazine, the question is, what is the game that Mark Sanchez remembered in his first year with the Eagles? What is the game that Mark Sanchez remembered? And it came right out of when I asked him to look back at the Eagles. He mentioned the game. You mentioned that game. And if you're one of the correct answers, submitting it to my website at howardeskin.com by midnight Friday, August 29th. We'll announce the winner on this Saturday, August 30th. It's going to be a fun show with Mark Lawrence talking about sports talk radio on my 39th anniversary of the first sports talk show on WIP. We're live on X, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Subscribe to YouTube, and you'll know when the show goes live. And it's easy enough to find on all the social media platforms, certainly on YouTube. And the winner will be announced on Saturday. All right, Charles Barkley. I just some simple questions. There's one question here that we'll deal with in the future. Was with Charles last night, and I asked him to give me a shout on the show, and of course he busted my balls. But I'll reference this after we play Charles Barkley.
Now,
So
obviously,
hey,
yeah.
you got a podcast?
Yeah, and you know it. You were on
What's it called?
the Howard Eskin Show.
That's fucking original.
Well, but it's got the king.
Wait, the Howard Eskin Show is the name of your podcast.
Yes.
That is so original.
What do you want me to call it?
Get a name?
Get in the picture here.
I'm here. Hey, listen, America. This dummy got a podcast called The Howard Eskin Show. I got a podcast, me and Ernie Johnson. You know what it's called? The Steam Room.
Yeah.
You know, the Kelsey Brothers, New Heights. Everybody's got a name. And you coming with the lame ass.
Okay, so all right. So what would you name it?
The King Podcast.
Okay.
Because you've been calling yourself the King since Jesus was a baby.
Well, I didn't name myself the King. That's fraudulent.
Well, no, first
Pete
of all,
Rose
oh my gosh. Pete Rose, the late, great Pete Rose called you the
did.
King?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, and then everybody started calling me the King.
Well, first of all, everybody does not call you the King.
Okay.
Okay, let's get that out
so
the
the
way.
podcast, so we'll mix in the King. Elvis is in the studio, so there's two kings in the studio.
Elvis?
Yeah, Elvis is in the studio.
Elvis
Presley.
Elvis, we love you, Elvis. Rest in peace, Elvis.
All right. So one question before we close this out: you tell people they should watch the show, correct?
Yes, watch the Howard Eskin Show. It's such an original title.
Okay. Now, the second thing is, so we can start trouble, and we've talked about it tonight. The top 6 NBA players all time.
Michael Jordan, Oscar Robertson, Bill Russell, Kareem, Wilt, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Tim Duncan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Jerry West.
And Bird's before LaFraud.
So it's not.
Oh, come on.
Howard, you know the thing? Howard Eskin, making friends everywhere.
Hey, thanks for the shout out.
No problem, brother. Keep up the great work, brother.
Thanks. Well, so now we got to come up with it. Hey, listen, the King and you. It's not the King and I, the King and you. Yeah, but Steam Room. If you weren't a sports fan, would you know what the Steam Room is? Would you have any clue what the Steam Room is? And don't take off your towel or whatever the hell they say. All right, New Heights. If you didn't know, it was Jason Kelsey and Travis Kelsey, and Taylor Swift made him huge, made him bigger. Would you know what New Heights is? No. What connection does that have to those guys? And the Steam Room. Hey, it's a cute name, but give me a break. All right, so let's deal with it. And he has LaFraud at 6. I have him beyond that, but nonetheless, we'll debate that at another time because I will play that again. And thanks to you, I'll tell you, there was a lot of great comments. It's okay for people to call Eskin the King, but people can't call LeBron King. Well, LeBron gave himself the nickname, Goat Stature, or whatever the hell your name is. You can't give yourself your own nickname. Can't do it. It's fraudulent. Fraudulent. I didn't give myself the nickname. Pete Rose gave it to me, and it stuck. So you said, Charles said, you said LeBron is as good as Jordan 12 years ago. Stop lying. He never said that. Another moronic comment. What a dope. Kobe's not too high. Who do you rather have in the last 2 minutes of a game? Kobe Bryant, Larry Bird, or LaFraud James? I'd rather have Kobe Bryant and Larry Bird. You can choose between the two. LaFraud's not going to win you a game at the end. Give me a break. Let's stop it. Stop it. All right. So you got the question to win the Charles Barkley autograph. Hi, Howard. Why change if you're number 1? That is correct. Was that Tony? Is that Tony? I think it's Tony. Tony Woods. Elvis on sports for a title. Well, but it's the comments tonight were great. The comments, and I appreciate your comments. And how about Mark Sanchez actually reading the comments and seeing some of your comments, which is good. See, people are watching, people are looking. Hey, thank you. Thanks for joining us. Saturday, again, Mark Lawrence will join us as he will every Saturday, to take a look at the weekend football. Also, one of the topics, and there'll be other topics. I'm sorry I didn't get to the Phillies tonight. Not that you should really care that I didn't get to the Phillies. By the way, let me just run this out there. The new favorite word in news conferences for the coach and Howie Roseman. They had a news conference yesterday to talk about the cuts. Tools. This guy's got tools. That guy's got tools. That guy's got tools. That guy's got tools. Mentioned it at least 6 times. There's probably at least 7 times. Give me a break. I got tools. How about he's a good player? He's got speed. He's got agility. He's got athleticism. He's got the things that you need to be. What tools? Did he have a screwdriver, a hammer, a wrench? What did he have? What kind of tools were they? I mean, tools. They get locked in on cliches, and it's boring. Come on, sharpen up your news conferences, guys. Let's have it fun again. Let's have it fun again. All right. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to Mark Sanchez. He was terrific. He was absolutely terrific, and I appreciate it. And a fun guy to talk to. And you'll see his growth in the broadcast booth as well. Thanks to Joe Gangemi for taking care of the technical part of it and producing and working on the other side of this. Thank you all for being a part of the Howard Eskin Show. See you on Saturday.